Three, two, one. Go. Hi, Kyla. How are you today?
I'm okay. You know, just going through the motions, I think.
Going through the motions. Explain.
So just graduated college. Now I'm in a new city. I'm in a new program now. I'm not around anything really familiar, and I'm just feeling homesick. I want to go home every weekend, and obviously I can't do that. There's a lot of traveling. Uh, just lonely.
So, where did you move from?
So I went to college in North Carolina, and then I'm originally from outside of DC.
Wow, that's awesome. And you live in Philadelphia now, correct?
Yeah.
So, what made you want to come to Philly?
Grad school. I knew that grad school would be the next step for me, and the reason I applied to LaSalle was just because my granddad actually went here, so it was familiar, and I had a friend who also moved here for her grad program, so it just kind of made sense at the time.
And what drew you to LaSalle and moving away as opposed to staying closer to home?
My big in my sorority, her and I are best friends, and she is a year older than me, obviously, but she moved away from home after graduating and started grad school. And like I got it in my mind that like it was just something I had to do, like to prove to myself that I can adult and that college was worth something and that, all those things, I guess.
How is adulting going for you? How
Horrible.
does it?
Horrible.
Tell me more about why it's horrible. Why?
I think I'm just alone all the time, whereas in college I was surrounded by people. I had roommates, I was in a sorority. I did all the things in college, and now I'm just working and doing school, and I'm doing like a lot of good things. I'm at CHOP, applying to PsyD programs. It's just, I miss being around people and miss my parents and all of that.
And I can completely understand that. It's really hard to pull yourself out of your environment where you're comfortable and to move away into a new city. You know, you don't have your family around you, you don't have your friends with you, and it's just you. And those feelings of loneliness that you're feeling are valid, they are normal.
Yeah.
It's got to be really hard to be living on your own and going to school on your own and working on your own. Tell me a little bit about what you do in your free time when it's just you.
Well, that's kind of been also a shift because in college, in my free time, I would read, I would watch TV, go for walks, and now it's like I can't give myself that free time. I'm always working, always have my computer open, and always have the TV on just because I can't like sit in the silence. So walking has really not been something I've been doing just because I'm not doing anything with my hands, so that's more time to think. So I don't think I've been giving myself the free time that I should.
Kyla, what does your social life look like since you've moved to a new city?
Great question. So my friend from college is here, but she has her own group of friends. Her program is more cohort based, so they're all really close. And she's in a pre-med program, so
I'd imagine that's intense.
yeah, that's intense. So I rarely see her, but we talk all the time. And then I have met like a couple people, like just like out and about. We've gone out a few times, and that's been nice. But I wouldn't say like I have like a sense of comfortability, like social wise here, if that makes sense. Like in college I had that with my social life, and I really valued that. But here I don't have that sense of comfortability.
What is it specifically that you're missing from home that makes you want to go home every weekend?
I think it is the comfortability. Like I want to be comfortable and I'm not. I want to be around people that make me feel good instead of being alone, or being like in social scenes where I'm like with these new people and I'm like having fun, obviously, but I'm not comfortable. Like I'm on edge like the whole time. Like I feel like I have to present myself in like a good way to like make friends and do what I need to do.
Explain to me a little bit more about this on edge feeling that you're explaining. When do you feel this feeling?
When things aren't going perfect is when I feel it, which is all the time.
And what's perfect, Kyla?
Straight A's, like having what I had in college in terms of a social life. And I think I wanted it to be better than what I had in college. I'm not there yet. I'm on edge at home a lot just because of the silence. That makes me on edge. A lot of things. But I think it just all ties back to that sense of loneliness, like post-grad and, you know, yeah.
Kyla, I think it's important to give yourself a little bit of grace and to acknowledge that you're going through a huge life change right now. You're away from your family, you're in a new city. Grad school is a whole other level in comparison to undergrad. I think it's important to acknowledge that it's hard being away from your friends back at home and trying to make new friends in a new environment while you're also going to work and studying, and you know, those things are hard. So you have to give yourself grace that it's okay that life isn't perfect, and it's okay that the expectations that maybe you had set in the beginning of this journey are not being met. That's okay.
Yeah, it is okay. Just it's hard to make myself like feel like it's okay.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the silence piece that you keep mentioning about being alone. So humans are social beings, right?
Yeah.
And it's really hard when we're put into environments where we feel isolated.
Yep.
And it's just us. Have you tried inviting some of your Big's friends over to your apartment, or some of the people that you've met along the way?
Well, so my Big has come and visited like a lot, which I really appreciate. She's like my best friend in life, so that's been really nice. With my friend who is in the city I went to college with, I do try often to be like, let's go get dinner, or like let's go get drinks, or let's have a movie night, or things like that. And she's just really busy, and now she's dating this guy in her cohort, and like that's what she wants to do. And that's totally fine. But you know, I try with her, and it like doesn't really always work out. And then like with the friends that I just met in the city, I haven't tried like inviting them over. I'm more so like join in on their plans.
Right.
I feel like is what the situation is. And they live closer to Independence Hall than I do in Center City, so it's like easier for me to go to their place rather than they come like all the way to me, even though it's a 10-minute walk. But
Kyla, on a scale from 1 to 10, rate your distress for me in this new stage of your life.
with 10 being
10 being you cannot stand to live this life anymore, you want to pack up and move and go back home to mom and dad, and a 1 being I love the new city, I love my new life, and I want to stay here. Where do you fall in that range?
I definitely have my days where it's a 10. But there are certain things that I do enjoy, like me working at CHOP and like me working in the clinic. Like I'm really getting the clinical and research experience that I enjoy. And then the opportunity that I have like to move over to the PsyD program is something that like really keeps me going at times when I do remind myself of it. So I would say during my best times, I probably am at a 6.
A 6.
Yeah.
So is a 6 a high enough number for you to want to make a drastic life change? Or are you thinking more so this feeling is temporary and if you stick it out, things will get better? Where are you at?
The temporary, it'll get better. Because like you hear in college all the time, like post-grad's hard. So like maybe this is just the post-grad is hard phase. But it's not a great phase. I'm not enjoying it.
No, I think anytime people go through drastic life changes, change is difficult.
Yeah.
It's not easy to take yourself out of your environment and try new things. So I'm really proud of you for stepping out of your comfort zone and trying something new and advancing on to the next stage in your life. Because I think it's important to go after that change, even though change is hard sometimes. But we have to acknowledge that change is hard and give ourselves grace.
Yeah.
To understand, I'm going through a hard time, but look at everything that I've been able to accomplish in the time that I've been here. I mean, getting into grad school is not easy. You did it. Moving away from your parents isn't easy. You did it.
Yeah.
Living on your own and being an adult is not easy, and you're doing it. You have to be really proud of yourself for the things you've been able to accomplish. However, it's also okay to sit here and say, I need help, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
And this is not a good feeling.
Day by day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you talk to mom and dad a lot?
Oh yeah, all the time. Probably more so than they would like.
And do they know about your feelings with this new life change?
Yeah, my mom so more than my dad, just because it's easier to girl talk with your mom. But they definitely know how hard I push myself and the day-to-day struggles, for sure.
And what are some of the things that mom and dad have been telling you?
Well, my parents have definitely had different upbringings than I did, and so this is new to them. My dad did college from home, and then my mom didn't go to college, so she doesn't really, they both don't have an idea of what I'm going through, but they definitely try to do what they can to relate and give me the advice. But it takes time, it's a lot what they say. I'm welcome to come home every weekend, is a lot what they say. And I'm like getting to where I want to be is like the main focus of their mindset.
Carla, it sounds like you have a really great support system back at home, and I encourage you to keep talking to your parents every day, even though physically they're far away. Emotionally, know that they support you, they love you, they're here to listen to you.
Yeah.
And sometimes just making that phone call to mom or dad every day is enough to keep someone going.
Yeah.
So definitely lean on your supports back at home that you have, because it sounds like you have an amazing system.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
That also makes it hard to be away from them when your
Yeah.
support system is so far.
Yeah, very hard.
Have mom and dad come to Philly to visit?
A couple times, but they work a lot. And then I also have 2 brothers. One is in college. They visit a lot, and he plays football, so they go to a lot of his games. And then my other brother is in 8th grade, so we school every day.
And what's your relationship like with your brothers?
Pretty close, I would say. I talk with them quite a bit. So obviously, like, we don't do girl talk, but I do talk to them.
So it sounds like mom is your main point of contact,
Yeah.
is that correct?
Yeah, for sure.
Tell me about girl talk between you and mom.
Talk about everything. She listens to me like rant about my classes and my grades. And then like on the other hand too, like where I'm at socially and like wanting more with that. I don't know, we talk about everything. And she just kind of listens. And that's really what I need. So amazing. Sam, you did such